Welcome, wonderful people of the internet. This is the Lazy Piece of Shit podcast. Here, we like to talk about all the awkward and uncomfortable things you might be thinking but are too embarrassed to say. My name is Dan, and I am cordially inviting you to witness me making a fool of myself with each week's new episode. But for now, get comfortable, grab a drink, and let's get into it. Well, it's Friday, so you know what that means. A lovely new episode of the Lazy Piece of Shit podcast. So welcome back, everybody. I know last week's episode was a little bit different than the usual light kind of fun stuff that we like to do here, but I thought it was very important to kind of get that out there and let you guys know my journey and all that kind of fun stuff, so that way we can, get closer and be stronger as one and be better people. Today, I do have another exciting guest on, and I will let her introduce herself.
Hey Dan, I'm Brittany.
Hi.
Hi. I'm happy to be here today.
Yes, absolutely. I had to coerce her a little bit, the drinks always help, that's for sure, but I've known Britt forever.
I don't even know how long
Forever,
now.
ever. We, at one point, when we were growing up...
we lived together.
Yeah.
We didn't even know.
Yeah, well, it was kind of funny because your parents had like an apartment on the back of their house, and my parents had bought a new house, and it wasn't fully built yet, so we had to wait. I think it was a couple months, and we were renting off the back of you guys, and we didn't even really know. I think there's pictures, and we don't even remember, right?
I remember renters, but I don't remember your family specifically.
We were miserable because my parents wanted their house, and there was me, my mom, 5 of us, and it was crazy. And I just remember the best part was when my mom finally caved and was rented us an N64 from Blockbuster.
Oh yeah,
and it was the most fun and exciting time of my life. So we just did that a lot.
Yeah,
and then obviously we worked together forever at our most wonderful job at the theater in town.
Yeah, I don't know, how long did you work there?
Way too long, 15, and then I hung around every now and then till 21, 22.
Okay, because I was there for 14 years.
Yeah,
so
you were there
we probably worked together for close to 10 years together, maybe.
Probably,
together.
Honestly, yeah. And then I came back, and you were still kind of there, and
yeah.
And to be honest, I pretended like I worked there forever because I would just show up.
Yeah,
for
you
staff
just
shows
make me run staff shows for you when you weren't even an employee.
Brittany was the best. I just texted her, so staff show tonight? And it was awesome.
Fine.
Popcorn, all that kind of stuff.
I want to see Harry Potter, but whatever.
I know. You're a trooper. You're a real trooper, so we appreciate that.
Yeah.
But real talk, Britt is amazing. She's probably one of the most toughest, badass people I know. She always you're training your bow hunting skills. You have your shurikens or whatever you can throw at people. Even horseback riding. You gotta teach me how to horseback ride this year too. That was my goal.
Go.
I know. I'm just scared of horses, so there's that.
My horse is a sweetheart.
Okay, perfect.
It'll be fine.
Awesome. Dirt biking, ATVing. You're a trained EMS, so you're pretty much just a badass, a judo extraordinaire.
Yeah.
You've been doing judo for forever, right? Your dad's an instructor.
Yeah, he used to be. He finally retired last year because of COVID. They finally shut down their club, unfortunately, but it was time. And with COVID, it was kind of a good excuse to get out of it. As much as he liked it, it was a big commitment, and it was non-profit. So
so it just
he just did it for the love of the sport.
Awesome, and he's now just relaxing, enjoying his life. I am going to be getting them an edible arrangement soon that I've owed them for 10 years, so I'm going to send it to them sometime over the next month or two. I can't wait. And pretty much Brittany is the ideal candidate for a zombie apocalypse team. So very happy to have you around for that. And we've been together forever. We like a lot of the same stuff. Movies.
Yeah, we go to the movies all
the time
before COVID, but we already went once this week. So.
Yes, and I'm going again tonight, so I'm so excited. And we love medieval times, both the restaurant and the time period. We do enjoy that. But zombies, books, music especially. I'll never forget when we went to that Billy Talent concert when Alexis on Fire came out. I'll never ever forget that. But I'm so happy to have you here. We're going to talk about EMS and all the crazy stuff that you have to deal with and go through. But obviously, first off, we are going to have to give ourselves a drink because I think we've earned it. So this week we have a Georgian Bay vodka smash, a refreshing blend of Georgian Bay vodka, lemon, lime, grapefruit, and mint, lightly carbonated and not too sweet. So
we will see.
We will be the judges of this Georgian Bay. Let's see. All right.
Okay.
Ooh,
pretty good. Very lemony.
Yeah, very lemony.
Yeah, I like
not bad.
I'm really into gin and tonics right now.
Are
so
you?
This is kind of similar.
So fancy.
No, they're cheap, man.
True. There you go. Hey, that's a smart mind to have. It's not bad. Definitely.
I don't know if I could drink a whole bunch of them.
No, definitely sweet. Like, very sweet.
Maybe when it's really hot on ice, it'd probably be good.
Absolutely, yeah. They're a little warm. I just picked them up. But not bad.
No, they're not warm. Just everything's better on ice, basically.
Very chill. All right, so that's not too shabby. They had a couple of different ones. They had a gin smash. I should have got that for you. I didn't know we were drinking gin and tonics.
Weirdly, our friend Matt, he got Adam and I into them.
Other than that, that's pretty good. So we're set up there. And random thoughts for the week. What's going on? Anything you want to get off your chest?
I'm on my days off. I go back in tomorrow for my 6 days straight, so not too excited about that. It's always kind of tough.
Is it always 6 days, 6 days on, 6 days off, or is it like 4?
It's kind of a mix. So we do a 28-day schedule. Okay. So once a month we do 6 days on, which means once a month we get 6 days off, which a lot of people like, because especially if you can travel, it's a good way to take a lot of vacations.
When we can travel, absolutely. That's fantastic.
6 days in a row can be pretty grueling, depending on how the shifts go. So
yeah, especially with everything going on, I'm sure it's not the easiest of things to do.
Yeah, for sure. It's gotten a little better recently, which is nice. And I've recently moved up to the north, so it's more rural. So working in the north is a lot better than the crazy, more like city areas. So I
can only imagine the stuff that happens closer to the cities.
Yeah, there's still crazy stuff up here too. So
true, very true. There's crazy stuff everywhere. Yes, we went to the movies. I've been waiting since Friday. I was gonna go Friday by myself, but I was like, no, I'll wait, because then I don't mind going to the theater in town because I literally live there. But this was like going to the Newmarket area, half an hour away, and I'm like, ooh, that's a big step. But I waited till Tuesday, cheap night.
Nice enough to wait for us.
No, for sure. Well, I always wait for you guys. I'm like your third wheel. It's kind of embarrassing, but here we are.
I don't think we're really third wheel couples.
No, you guys were fantastic. It's awesome. And we saw Fast 9.
Oh God, yeah.
Well,
weren't expecting much.
Yes, my expectations were so low, and they still...
Yeah, it wasn't great.
I came out of it, and I was still pretty... just a head scratcher at times, and you're just kind of like... I think they had a lot of pieces, like bringing some characters back that they could have really used and made things better, but I don't understand who gives them money for these.
Money, too.
Like, all that money. And
Helen Mirren, all of them.
And I just feel like the acting was just bad, too.
Yeah.
And I don't really care. As you said, I go into the movie and I'm like, it's Fast 9. It is what it is. But this time I was just like, yikes. And they try hard, but I guess I read today that there's 2 more coming out.
I thought there was 1 more. I thought 10 was the last
one.
No,
11's the last one I read today. Right. and then we'll go from there. But I would definitely maybe wait till it comes out on Netflix or Cheap Night for sure. But it was interesting to say the least.
I know, I really wanted to see it because of Han, and even that was he wasn't really in it that much. Like, he didn't really do anything.
And that's what I'm saying. You're bringing him back. I think everyone loved him. You could have done so much more with it instead of worrying about space. But that's all we'll say about that, because it was a nightmare. I'm going to see Black Widow tonight, so I'm pretty pumped for that.
Yeah, that's exciting.
First Marvel movie.
We may join you. It depends.
Yeah.
It's a bit early, so
I know.
We're more late movie people.
We're at night. I got the Rita and all of them are going a little early, and they're usually in bed by the time we leave for our movie.
That's true. So. They usually are. We usually can't convince them to come at 10:30 at night.
No, for sure. But yeah, as I said, everything seems to be going back, getting a little back more towards normal. We got movie theaters back open, concerts at the Budweiser stage. The Jays will be back at the end of the month, so we can start going down to some games there. 15,000 fans a game, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, tickets go on sale Monday, I think I read.
Yeah, Monday. Nice, awesome.
I'm not a Jays fan, but I just read that. So
it's just something to do at this point, right? For me, I haven't really. I watch them at work. We'll put it on. But I haven't really been following for a couple of years.
Well, it's different when you go to the game, too. It's like anything. It's I don't watch football, but I've been to a football game, and it was fun.
Yes.
And Jays games are,
they're
a little long, but they're fun.
Depends who you go with, right? If you have a good group, and you're having some drinks and having fun, and you're in the nosebleeds where all the other real fans are having some drinks, then, it's pretty good.
I will say the one pandemic thing I am not excited for is finding parking in Toronto again. I was thinking that the other day when I was driving in Toronto at work, and I was like, you know what I don't miss, and it's been so nice not to worry about, is parking
in Toronto. Honestly, see, I didn't even think that. I don't travel that way ever, so.
I know, but I was driving past the parking lots, and I was like, oh, I forgot how much I hate that. Like, stressing out trying to find that parking before your concert or whatever, so you can get in on time.
I just start parking at where is it, by Seneca, the college there, and take the subway down.
Yeah.
Just a little bit easier,
it is
but
easier.
Longer.
I just hate after it. I'm like, I just want to get home.
Yes.
I don't want to spend an hour on the subway or whatever.
You're absolutely, weird things happen on the subway.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, it's interesting at least.
Absolutely.
Now with COVID, you might not want to be in it because it's kind of gross, but it's always been gross.
Make sure you have your hand sanitizer ready to go. Even when COVID's over, you want to hand sanitize after you get out of the old subway.
Well, I think that will keep up, so that'll be a good thing. I think it'll be more available.
I think so too. Everywhere should have right when they walk in, boom, there you go. Keep washing our hands more, and hopefully we,
and masks in some certain situations.
Yeah, as we were talking about it last night, I said, honestly, November, December, flu season, I wouldn't be against wearing a mask because, as I said, I didn't get sick I usually get sick at some point. I haven't gotten sick, knock on wood, and it's been great. So I hate getting sick, especially the flu. We'll do whatever I can to avoid the flu.
Well, even some of the just like things you go to or get done, like as a girl, get your eyebrows waxed. These people are right in your face. I'm like, why weren't we wearing masks before? Yeah. We're just like spitting on each other.
Your eyelashes. I don't want you
stuff.
breathing on me. Exactly. No, that is a very valid point. So I think hopefully going forward, those will be, especially in the face area. Dentists wear masks. You know what I mean? It's pretty much the same thing. So all right. So fitness update. How have you been doing? What are you doing? What's your plan of attack?
Well, I can barely walk today because I went back to the gym on Tuesday.
Okay.
I go to Orange Theory. I started last year. I do quite like it. I didn't get to go very much because of the pandemic.
Obviously.
Because even during the last lockdown, or when they lifted the last lockdown, it was only 10 people per class. So I found I couldn't get into a class.
Fill up pretty quick, right?
And with my job, I like to go after work, or when I was working down in the south, come on my way home. But we can get stuck at work for up to 4 hours after shift, so we can only book it on our way home.
Yeah,
so it's kind of hard to book ahead.
When you're out of there fleeing the workplace.
So it was good to be back. It felt really good, but my legs are suffering today.
Hey,
it's a good workout. It's not cheap. It's not a cheap gym, but it's good.
Well, it's better than where we used to go. Old above the nightmare.
I didn't mind it. It was good for weights, but
it was either you had the. If you went during the day, you had the older crowd who just loved to chat your ear off, right?
Wasted your time.
And you're like, dude, I got work, I enjoy talking to you guys, but I gotta go. And if you went at night, you had all those high school kids who one of them will be working out and
film each other.
Filming each other, 6 of them sitting on all the machines, and you're like, can I use this, please? So that's what was my big motivation to start getting the.
And it wasn't that cheap.
No,
I'm like, that gym should have been a lot cheaper.
That gym should have been $15.
You can go to LA for $25 a month.
Yeah, I could barely get to the gym across my work. I'm not driving to Newmarket to go to the gym, so that's crazy.
Know. It's hard. We need some more gyms.
Absolutely. I was hoping that one place in the Zayres Plaza was going to turn into a Fit for Less.
Oh,
and that would have been nice, but
Fit for Less would be nice, or Planet Fitness or any of those ones.
Yeah.
Now I'd be happy if an Orange Theory moved up here.
There you go. Nice and close to home. Absolutely. So obviously if you've been listening consistently, I've been stuck in a little bit of a funk for the last couple episodes, just trying to get motivated for my nutrition. And we were talking about it with the roommates last night, and we're all just kind of in the same boat. July has been a write-off. We just don't care, and we can't really put our finger on what's going on, but Friday I stopped in at Turkey Shoot. I wanted to finally get out there. It was fantastic. Really nice. I did flights. I tried almost everything, especially I don't like stouts, thicker beers. Wasn't a big fan, but the one lady who worked there, she was like, no, try this, it's really, really good. And theirs was really nice. Not near as thick, nice and refreshing. There was a coffee one that they had, but I don't drink coffee, so I didn't even try that one. It was really nice. They have a really nice kind of patio on the outside. It's very mixed and matched up. And I forget who mentioned something to the gentleman that owns it, and he goes, oh, really like your patio. And he legit dead ass was like, yeah, it's made of garbage. And I guess it's just people that their friends or family, whatever they could grab to kind of make something, because in Ontario we had to kind of put something up for patios super quick.
And they're just getting started. So.
Yeah, exactly. So it was really nice to finally stop in there and be able to try out everything that they have there. It's really nice. Definitely recommend if you're in the Keswick area to check them out. And then Saturday we stopped in at Slabtown Cidery.
Oh, you did? I still need to get there.
Yes. So if you're ever in the Uxbridge area looking for something to do, definitely check out Slabtown. They are fantastic. Everything's a lot more done now. They had a beautiful big patio on the outside. Inside you could hang out there. There was a wedding going on, so we didn't really hang out too much in there. They had a guy playing a guitar, so live music was nice. And they just have this big area at the back. It's just a field, right? And people were showing up kind of a little bit later in the night with blankets, and they would throw it out on the ground. They could grab a drink. The kids, families, everything there. So it was really, really nice. So it's not just kind of for adults, if you will. Lots of room for kids just to kind of run around, have fun, and meet up with the friends and have a few drinks. So definitely recommend that. And then Sunday I went out on the boat.
Oh, nice. So
with
jealous.
Lynn's, and I definitely had a few beverages there. It was a beautiful day. So it's just things like that. It's and I don't want to say no. or go to a turkey shoot and be like, oh, I can only get one beer. It's just like, it's a summertime.
Yeah, it's definitely hard.
And I don't.
That's the problem. It's like, well, it's summer, then it's Thanksgiving, then it's Christmas, then it's this.
Yes.
It just keeps going.
I think that's the thing. That's what I said. Like, as much as it sounds like an excuse, it's just, I'm not gonna like be one of those people that lets my does nothing because I'm super focused on losing the weight and blah 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 blah. It's like I understand now that it's gonna take months for me to get to where I want to be.
Yeah.
What's a couple extra weeks, when you're having fun with your friends, especially when you haven't seen them for a while. We haven't been able to go to patios. We've all been kind of cooped up. It's just, I'm just going to have fun. September comes soon enough and then I'll get focused and then, we'll kind of start that up.
Well, you definitely got to find that balance. Like, actually, Leslie is a great example because she comes out to all the stuff and has fun, but she's also in wicked shape. And she's the good 80-20, 80% healthy, 20% unhealthy kind of thing.
I have that in my notes. So I'm going to be more, I'm going with the Leslie kind of style now, where you'll work your ass off during the week and then on the weekends, just enjoy and have fun. And I think that's kind of the way to go, right? And
otherwise, you're going to be miserable. I've done that. I've done that hard out.
And I think that's where most people fail, right? Is that you focus so hard on nutrition, and the things you do enjoy and the things you're trying to get fit for to enjoy just kind of fall by the wayside because you're so focused on, and everything else kind of just passes you by, and then you get sad and then you fail. And so I think the 80-20 method is the best to go with. I mean, by no means every night you should be going out or this and that, but as I said, I wanted to check out Turkey Shoot. We got to do that. I wanted to check out Slab Town again now that they've kind of renovated and got everything all done. So it was really nice. And again, it's summertime. Gonna relax, gonna enjoy. I will say though, I went out on the boat on Sunday, and if you've listened before, I'm one of those people that swims with their shirt on because I'm just very not confident. But I decided that I'm not gonna do that anymore, and I went swimming with my shirt off, and I just let it all get out there. And it is what it is. I'm feeling a little bit better as of recently with kind of everything going on and getting back in the gym, and I was like, you know what, F it, right? This is what I look like.
Yeah. Well, you
Come
said
at me.
No one's really, it's like at the gym. No one's looking at you. They're all looking at themselves. The only ones that maybe are the 17-year-olds that are perfect because they're 17.
Yeah.
And who cares what they think?
Exactly. Because 25 will hit them quick,
Yeah. And then they'll be like, ah, crap.
Yeah. And as I said, I'm just putting all of my energy into the things I can really kind of control. I've been staying pretty consistent with getting my daily intake of water. I have been working out, which has been fantastic. I haven't stopped. I took 1 week off in the last 3 or 4 months. I've upped from 2 workouts a week to 3. And I've been really enjoying working out because I have never stuck with a program this long. Yeah. So I'm seeing pretty decent weight that I can move now, whether it be bench press, deadlifts, that kind of stuff. So it's kind of exciting, and I'm just happy that I've kind of stuck with that. Maddie's been busy with 15 jobs he works, so he hasn't been around as much. So I thought I'd maybe fall off a little bit, but no, I've been still kind of kicking my ass. And it's not so much just about, I got to work out to lose weight. It's like, okay, well, last week I did this, so let's see what I can do this week. Yeah. So that's been pretty exciting.
It is when you're more consistent, you get into it more, and then you actually like doing it.
Yeah.
It's not so much a chore.
And I'm just not going to stress about what I can't really control. I mean, I can control my nutrition, but you know what?
It's hard.
Yeah, it's not easy. If it was easy, then everybody would be fit, I assume, right?
Yep.
And July, as I said, has kind of been my write-off month, and then we'll refocus to August, and then come September, October, that's when I'm going to kind of really start cracking back down and use the winter time to prepare for summer 2022.
When you can hopefully finally do stuff.
Yes,
then again,
exactly.
We said that last year.
We definitely did, but we're fingers crossed so we can kind of keep it going. So yeah, are you working towards anything right now, fitness wise? Just kind of
just trying to get back to the gym because, like I said, haven't been doing anything. My house is super small, and I know again that's not an excuse. Lots of people work out in very small areas, but I find it really hard, and I find it hard without weights and everything. So
well, and you also have a giant dog that takes up half the house. So
yeah, it takes up a lot of
super
energy.
Cute, but yeah, no, I definitely understand that. So work, do you have testing for every year? You have to do physical testing, or is it just kind of once you get in?
No, there probably should be. And when you first get the job, you have to do a physical test. It all depends on the service you are applying for. They're all kind of gearing towards one test, it seems, which is more actual real testing, with stretchers and doing CPR and all that sort of stuff. So you have to pass that to get in. But other than that, no, there's really not. And there's not a huge focus right now in EMS to continue your fitness. It's kind of, there are a lot of medics that are in great shape and they do really work towards it because we do have a physical job. We lift people basically every single shift. It's rare that we don't lift someone in some way. But there's not really that focus. Like, I know I was saying the other day, like, even like the hydro companies, Electra, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to give you like $500 a year for fitness. So,
interesting.
And my dad's company is like that too, and he works an office job, so he uses it to buy home weights. And then like other guys I know, they use it for hockey. Yeah. And so like I wish we had something like that, and maybe we do, and I just don't know about it. But it's not really a big thing in EMS right now.
A big push, yeah, which it
should be, because when you're not in shape and you lift poorly, you get hurt.
Yeah, and then you go off, and then they have to pay you, and so it's just kind of a vicious circle for sure. Okay, interesting. So yes,
a lot of heavy people.
Well, yeah, and then you're always active at the barn with your horses, and I can only imagine the new puppy that you have keeps you busy. So
yeah, he's luckily not as hyper as most puppies. Yeah, but we do try to take him for an hour walk basically every day between the two of us. Nice. So that's good. And
he's very well trained, I will say. He's pretty well trained. For a little bigger dog, I am a little nervous around bigger dogs, but he's fantastic. A big sweetheart. Yes.
If anything, he'll jump on you because he just wants to be near you.
Yeah,
like, he's the biggest sweetheart. He's not mean at all.
He is a sweetheart. He probably eats better than me, though. I did see.
Yeah, he's on a raw food diet, so we spend more time planning his food than we do
your
our
own, right? So, geez.
Yeah, same with the horses.
Anything for the animals, right?
Oh, yeah, they come first.
Absolutely. So if you haven't been able to gather, our main topic for today is living life as a frontline worker, kind of what you've been up to, how you kind of got into it, all that kind of fun stuff. So we're going to go through that. Yeah, so when did you kind of decide to pursue EMS? Because I remember you were at Guelph for a bit. You were, not that that's bad by any means, but when were you kind of like, you know what, this is what I want to do?
It was very spur of the moment. So yeah, I did get my Bachelor of Science way back when, and then I did an office job for 2 years, just like customer service, sales kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I liked it, but I was like, I can't work an office job for the rest of my life.
I don't think you could do that.
No, I was like, I think I was good at it, but yeah, I was like, I'm going to go insane. Mm-hmm. Like 2 years there and I was done. And so one weekend I was actually working in the movie theater, and one of our friends came in, and he was telling me about, he stayed late to chat because I hadn't seen him in a while, and he was telling me about his girlfriend who works as a medic. Mm-hmm. He was telling me about the job, and I was like, oh, I'd never even considered it before.
No way.
And so then that weekend, everyone was kind of gone, like family and friends wise. So I just did a bunch of research, and they came back on Monday, and I was like to my parents and my boyfriend, I was like, I think I'm going to go back to school to be a paramedic. They're like, what? Like, you've never mentioned this before. I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to quit my job and take a year off and go back to school. So it's very spur of the moment. I went back at 26, I think it was. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I did a year program. It's a 2-year program normally. It's going towards a 3 or 4, but I did the private college kind of accelerated program.
Interesting.
Because I knew I could take a year off. Like, I had the funds saved up. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so.
And then, so you had a Bachelor's of Science from Guelph. Did that play a part in only having to do a year, or does that just kind of...
No, you just apply, and honestly, it's a private college, so they really just want money.
Yes, there you go.
They were literally like, can you start Monday? And I was like, well, I just thought about this on Friday, so maybe I'll start at the next intake in January, because, like, I have to quit my job and stuff.
Yeah, I have to prepare for everything.
And actually, like, get all my vaccines and everything, because I've never considered this before.
Yeah, no, for sure. Make sure all your boosters are good and everything.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
A million of those.
And that's like such like a great way to kind of like just, well, I feel like most people do that. They talk to a friend, oh yeah, I'm gonna try this, but you really went through with it, and you seem to be really enjoying it. You're always working, picking up shifts.
Yeah.
Awesome. So happy to hear.
Fits my life way better. Like, it's more my style. It's totally different. Like I think you mentioned, it's totally different every day. Like,
yes, I was like, I don't think
never the same.
If I think of Britt, I'm like, never would be able to be in an office doing the same thing every day. I think, well, me too, I wouldn't like that, but you specifically, you're always go. You like different challenges and stuff like that. So I think,
and I like more physical jobs.
Yes.
And I do think I thrive in chaos. So.
Yeah, well, you did work at the theater for 14 years, and that was chaos all the time.
And those were like the work, like the hardest days, but I think I did the best on those days.
Oh yeah, you were working like 15 jobs at one time. Oh God,
I used to get like 30 steps a day there. Like, it was insane.
30 steps?
Or 30,000.
I was like, holy
30, just 30. No, 30,000 steps.
Yeah, no,
you were running back and forth.
Oh, especially at the theater, because God bless the theater. Loved it. Was our first jobs, or one of our first jobs, but it was just such a nightmare.
It was.
Yes. But I mean,
challenging.
I do love it, and I did love being able to go and text you and be like, let's put a movie on tonight and make popcorn and stuff. That was,
we saw so many
movies. Had some pretty perks. There was a time when we were going to the movies probably like between the theater and Newmarket, and probably like 3-4 times a week. Yeah, like we were
sometimes
crushing
we do
it.
double staff shows if 2 movies were coming out on Friday.
Amazing times. And I do that. Yeah, those are my favorite kind of memories from the theater. Just random, hey, we're doing a staff show, let's go. All right, sweet. Do you think that maybe not waiting a couple years, but going to university, then going into the workforce a little bit, did that help for you becoming an EMS? Like, were you more prepared? Do you think that
I think so, because I've worked customer service since I was like 14, mm-hmm. so I think that's a big part of it. I think, like, I do work with a lot of people that came straight out from high school and went to college, and then they got jobs right away, and like they're good at their jobs, but there's sometimes that part missing. I think they haven't worked really the customer service or have the life experiences. Like, there's a lot of stuff that you want to be able to relate back to life, and you also sometimes need to think outside. Well, you need to think outside the box a lot of the time. Yeah. And so those life experiences help you with that for sure.
That's so true, and I think you're so right. And with any real career, anything like that, you know, you can teach someone how to do something, no problem. But what's hard to kind of, I guess, be learned is being nice to patients, or, you know, having that talking rapport. Like, talking to people is just, a lot, you know, of the job. Especially I'm going to go out on a limb here and say 80% of the time you see people, it might be a little stressful. They might be going through a rough day, and just maybe be able to talk to them and calm them down a little bit and let them know everything's going to be okay. You know, that's, I think that's a learned skill that you kind of, we've put time in for long and long. When you come right out of, you know, high school and you go into this course and then you're like 20 years old and you haven't really dealt with that, you know, it can be, you know, very intimidating, and you know, you maybe crack under pressure a little quicker than somebody like you who's literally dealt with, you know, so much more, and, you know, life, and, you know, house buying and university and leaving home, all that kind of stuff adds to your kind of, I guess, resume of life experience.
And then you can relate more to your patients. Like, I've been lucky, I haven't had a lot of trauma in my life, but I have some that at least I can relate to, or, you know, you've been to the hospital for stuff, so you can tell people about it, so you know what happened.
Compassion, right? And that's the biggest thing right now. I think the world needs more compassion, because everybody's just going a little bit crazy, and just being able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and be like, you know what, okay, you know, this is a routine call for me, but for these people it might not be, so I'm going to be able to, you know, dig deep and you know, put on a game face and be the best you can be, right? So
because to them it's the worst. A lot of time it's the worst day of their life, even though to you it's just like, okay, he did not need to call us for this. But, so it's hard trying to relate sometimes to them, but you kind of got to suck it up.
Hey, sometimes it's the job,
the
right?
masks now help.
Yes, that's
hide
what
your facial expressions.
I have resting bitch face at work, so I definitely the masks help for
get
sure.
Out of that. Yeah, I can't even imagine doing this job without a mask now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just for the sanitary reasons, too.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, I used to just walk in like this.
No, full hazmat suit for me.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we've already kind of talked about, like, what roped you in? Like, was it just kind of like when you were doing your research, what kind of really was like, you know what, this is what I want to do? Well,
I used to want to be a vet. That's why I went to Guelph. And so I did want to do the medical stuff. I love animals, so that's why I always wanted to be a vet. And then as my vet put it, for my horse vet, he said, well, if you work on horses all the time, you'll start to hate them. Because, you know, it's just, you see them all the time and it's annoying.
True, very true.
So I'd never even considered, like, you know, doctor, paramedic, anything like that in the human field. But yeah, it's like, once I heard about it, I'm like, oh yeah, like, it's still medicine, it's still fun, like, it's driving, it's fast paced, it's different environments.
It's challenging. I think you always like a new challenge.
You have to think, you have to learn. You learn a lot
on your feet.
You're always constantly like, oh, what's that medication, or what's that disease? Never heard of it. And then you look it up.
I feel like EMS is that, do you prefer EMS, paramedic? Doesn't matter. Okay. I feel like they kind of, I don't want to say get a bad rap by any means, but I think they're very underappreciated for what you guys do, because you're pretty much a nurse on a moving, you know what I mean? Like
120 kilometers down the
highway. And I feel like no one ever kind of gives you guys the credit that you deserve, because there are times when you are literally doing things that a nurse can do, potentially a doctor would be doing, and you're just ripping down the highway, you know, doing it.
We work under a doctor's license, so you have to be approved by, like, you have to be certified by Base Hospital and work under a doctor's license. So that's why I can do the delegated acts, like give drugs and like shock people when they're dead and stuff. So yeah, and then the advanced care medics can do even more. They can give even more drugs and do more things. So
is that a plan for you?
Maybe down the road. I don't know. Some people do it right away. I think it's better if you have more experience. Because as an advanced care medic, once you come on the scene, you're in charge. Yes. You're in charge of everyone. Yeah. So I think you need that experience to know how to work with people and have more experience of what you're looking at before you get there.
No, I think that's a great idea. Absolutely.
Still new, like, I've been doing it for over 2 years now, and still, like, there's new calls that I'm like, oh, I haven't done this before. Let's see how this goes.
No, and again, just that whole kind of that life experience, just more and more, and I think that will serve you better down the road. So that's good that you can go kind of up somewhere else too, right? Yeah. Awesome. How did you feel when you started driving the ambulance?
I felt fine, but I've been driving trucks since I was
gonna
16.
say, and you're on the farm, but I'd be like shitting my pants.
And then I used to drive like a lot of weird vehicles at the golf course and stuff, because I worked maintenance and stuff. So
true. So
it really wasn't, I had to learn to drive. It's called code 4. So that's when you see us with lights and sirens. So you have to learn how to drive like that. So when you go through an intersection, if you see us going really slow through an intersection, it's because what we're doing is we're literally clearing lane by lane. So if you watch a lot of us, we go one lane at a time. So we go into one lane, see everyone stopped on either side, move up another lane. So that's why you're probably looking at us like, why aren't they going quicker? But it's because we got to be safe, because so many people run red lights, so many people don't see us.
No, absolutely.
And depending on where you're working, it's better in like the more rural areas for the most part, but it's still a risk.
Yeah, no,
driving
for sure.
code 4 is always risky, and it statistically doesn't save you a lot of time.
No, interesting.
No, it depends on the area, but yeah.
Well, I guess more rural, we're farther from a hospital.
Yeah, it's kind of going to take as long as it does. You might skip a couple lights, but that's about it.
You got to slow down at each, and you got to be
and you got to go through them slowly. Yeah, so.
People are ridiculous. That's crazy. To be honest, I see it happen. I'm always like, oh, you're right. I'm like, oh, okay. Like,
yeah. Or people get confused on the highway why we turn off our lights, but that's because we can't go over... For our job, we're not supposed to go over 120 on the highway, so most people are flying past us anyway, so it's just easier and safer to turn off our lights unless it's like stop traffic. So,
I've never known this, so this is great information. I will say that every time I am in town and driving around and I've seen ambulance, I was like, Britt, is that you?
Sometimes it is.
I have not yet to see you, but one day I'm sure I will. This weekend, perfect. All right, I'll be on the lookout. Absolutely. So are there aspects of the job, because obviously myself, I'm a huge Grey's Anatomy fan, and is there any kind of aspect of the job that is very much portrayed on TV that is not even close to what your everyday job is?
There's a lot of it, because like on TV you see all the big stuff.
Yes,
in real life it's like maybe 90% just kind of routine, boring, or nothing calls. Yeah, and then 10% the crazy calls.
Crazy calls,
like. Sometimes you won't do them for like a month or two.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you get big breaks sometimes. When I first started at my more recent position, I was a black cloud for the first 3 months, so I did a lot of big calls in the first 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, what is black cloud? Is that what you're referring to yourself, or is that what they refer to you?
My coworkers refer to it too, but I was a black cloud, so I was getting all like the bad calls,
Oh, okay, so you just were not very lucky. Maybe lucky in the sense that you're getting experience, but...
Yeah, I do like those calls, yeah.
Because, it's challenging, pushing yourself to kind of, be a little bit more, learn faster. So that's always awesome.
You hate to see that, because you don't want anyone to suffer that way. But those calls are more interesting. For the most part.
It was going to happen. It's better to happen when you're around, so you can get the experience and kind of go from there, right? Awesome. So is it very much like you guys have like I assume like a base that you hang out in, and then you guys are like TV workout kind of stuff, or
so it depends on the base. So I work in 2 services. So one service you start more on a central book on area, so you get your partner in your truck and you go out, and they have little bases, so you kind of roam their region kind of the whole shift.
Interesting.
Where I work full-time now, you have your own base that you start at. That doesn't mean you don't cover other bases, so if one truck in one area goes out, they need to send a truck to cover that area, so sometimes you move bases. But there's couches and TVs and stuff, but depending on where you are, you might not get a lot of time at base.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Depends on where you are in the day.
Interesting. That's kind of cool, and I mean, something to do when you're down and that kind of stuff. So
some of the bases have workout equipped, just like weights that the medics have brought in and stuff.
Yeah,
but it's not like fire or something where they have full gyms.
Yeah,
it's not quite the same.
No, you guys are working a little bit harder. We'll go that route.
Start some fights.
There we go. Yeah, I can just hear Mr. B right now. So obviously it can be a very stressful job. What do you do? Do you do anything to, decompress after a shift, especially like now taking care of your mental health? What are your go-tos kind of thing?
Yeah, I should probably take more care of it, but I've just never really been the one that gets affected by a lot of that stuff, I find.
True.
I find sports and stuff are usually my go-to, so horseback riding. If I'm really upset, horseback riding is usually my go-to. Just kind of go for a trail ride and just kind of
Fantastic.
Relax.
I mean, there's no book in like what I should do this. No, it's whatever you like doing, wherever you feel, yourself, where you can kind of just let everything out. And horseback riding, absolutely, right? You're there, you're with your horse, you're just kind of doing your own thing. But yeah, I'd say for decompressing, you're always really good at compartmentalizing. I think that speaks to you being able to handle things in chaos a lot better, because there was times at the theater where it's like this and you're like here, so I just think that you're very good at compartmentalizing and then dealing with it on your own kind of time and that kind of stuff. But I mean, you're always reading, you're always kind of going to the movies, ripping.
What do you have on the go?
The 4x4, you and Adam have that now, and that's kind of the new thing.
Oh yeah, the side by side. Yeah,
side by
that's
side,
our new one. We got that last summer, the Polaris Razor. That's quite fun. Yeah, because like you said, I used to dirt bike, he used to ATV.
Yeah.
And so last summer we went out on one. I was like, okay, we need
one of those. Well, it's something that you and Adam can both do, right?
It's fun. We do it together.
And you see a lot of people, couples are like, oh, well, one person does this and one person does this, and this way you both can kind of, because you both enjoy it, you both can kind of go out and you got a little crew you go with. I see all the time.
Yeah, we do got a crew, and a lot of them are actually first responders too.
Nice.
Some of them are police officers and nurses, and some are dispatchers. So,
nice.
Yeah, so you can talk about some more stuff there too.
Fantastic.
Talking about it's important.
Yes, no, nothing like bottling everything up, and I think
but you need the right people, because like I can't tell some people about what happens. Luckily, Adam, my boyfriend, he's great. I can tell him basically anything, even some stuff. I'm like, do you want to hear this?
No, for sure.
But I think you got to talk about it.
Absolutely, you bottle that stuff up, and it will really eat you apart. I mean, obviously, you can always talk to me. Well, we're always talking all kinds of stuff there. Obviously, not all the crazy stuff, but
like I don't share who it was or where it was.
Oh yeah. No, and that's not even what I worry about. It's more or less for you getting that off of your chest, or being like, rough day. We're always Snapchatting all the crazy stuff that's going on. So it's exciting, and obviously exciting, and sometimes scary. So it's good to talk.
Yeah, COVID was a big game changer, because I'd been a medic for almost a year at that point when it started. So it was big. Yeah, it was kind of scary.
And that's okay. You're allowed to be scared, because
the unknown. And we're walking into all these places, we're taking people that have it, and we're sitting in a little box with them for 20 minutes.
Literally
in their face. A lot of time they don't wear masks, or like
crazy.
Yeah, they won't wear masks, or they can't, so.
And that's just crazy, because at the end of the day, it's like, we're here to help you, at least help us by putting a mask on. You're not, you'll survive, right? That's crazy. I hate people like that.
Yeah, we're wearing our gear, but even then, it's like, you think about it, I'm wearing a mask, I'm wearing a gown, I'm wearing a face shield, but like, it's particles in the air, so it's in my hair. And like, that risk is super low, but you always are still thinking, and at first they didn't know. They didn't really know.
Yeah, no one knew what was going on. If it was airborne, if it was
how long it was on surfaces.
Yeah.
And like, we always clean everything, but it's not like we weren't fumigating the truck.
No.
We did that at first for a little bit, but it just, there was so many cases you couldn't do it.
You're probably just go, so that's crazy. Awesome. Well, I'm happy to know, I hear that you're, you have, I guess, a network of people you can kind of reach out to when things do get a little tough, because at the end of the day, I think everybody needs that. So that's fantastic. I was just going to say, do you notice that, obviously you just talked about a little bit more stressful, a little bit more fatigue with the pandemic, because as I said, you always are as cool as a cucumber to me, so.
PP fatigue, like having to gown up last year, especially in the summer, especially when it's 40 degrees, and you're wearing that gown, that mask, goggles, face shield, everything, 2 sets of gloves, like it is hot.
Yeah, no,
and then depending on what you're doing, like like CPR for 30 minutes, did that last summer.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no,
I was just like drenched. It was disgusting.
No, you're like, and then do you get to go shower after that, or do you?
Yeah, I was able to that day. We can always request that, but sometimes if it's really busy, it doesn't happen. A lot of times we don't. You you're gonna get gross no matter what. Most days.
No, for sure. But
you come home when you shower.
that's pretty stressful. 30 minutes of compressions and stuff.
That was the longest I think I've ever done it.
Wow, that's crazy. But definitely need good cardio for that.
Yeah, we got that guy back.
Did you?
So
nice.
Yeah, well, they got him back at the hospital, but
Awesome.
I don't know if he ended up going home because he was older, but so at least it was kind of worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously I've seen some posts from you recently. There's a little bit of a larger push to treat EMS and even all frontline workers with the respect and dignity they deserve.
Yes.
Bring awareness to things that you guys go through on a daily basis. Things like, I assume from what I saw, like you guys would be like, there's chances of physically assaulted. You guys are like spit on, verbally assaulted, stuff like that. Like, does that happen a lot? Like,
I can't remember the stat, but it's something like within the first 6 months to a year, it's like 90% will be abused or assaulted in some way.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
we're here to help you. Like,
I know that's the problem, and like you called us, for the most part, but it's not always like. There's always other circumstances, like reasons, and then there's a lot of mental health and a lot of substance abuse, so like those calls are different. Mm-hmm. I luckily haven't had too many like encounters. I've never been physically assaulted, but I have had actually a patient pull a knife on me.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Yikes.
But that was a total misunderstanding. He was a great guy. His blood sugar was low. So once we fixed that, he was...
Threw him a snack. No.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, he was a great guy.
Talk about
nice.
Being hangry,
and he didn't
eh?
remember, but that's the problem. It's like certain medical problems, like crisis, so you don't even know what you're doing.
Oh, well, I'm so happy to hear that you haven't had to deal with it a lot. Now, do you... Maybe when obviously you have certain calls or certain, I assume, codes for calls, and if there's one like something like like maybe mental health or I don't want to say like an overdose or a substance abuse, like do you prepare mentally different than a regular call, or?
We usually, just on the way to the calls, we usually prepare for what we're going into. Sometimes we'll talk about it depending on what details we get.
Nice.
Certain calls we get told to stage by police, which means we're told to sit at an intersection nearby and not go into the house or not approach based on the details or based on history they have for that address.
True.
So I feel bad for police because they have to go in first and they do get the most kind of verbal abuse and everything.
I was just gonna say, a lot of stuff. I think that's maybe they don't show on the TV shows as much as that. No. Most of the time, you know, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now, is you're seeing these places and they need medical support, but they're not letting the police in, and it's like, well, that's their job. The police have to go and clear the scene first for you guys to come in, and it's just crazy.
Like,
no, absolutely.
I don't want to go into some of these places alone. Like, no, I don't have anything on me. I have my defibrillator, which weighs a ton, but I'd have to throw it at someone.
Imagine tucking that at someone.
And we're not supposed to throw things at people.
No, God forbid. But
we're supposed to help people.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You have
And we don't have, like you said, I did martial arts in the past, but that was years ago. We don't have formal training of any sort in self-defense or that sort of thing. So, yeah.
So it's just kind of like one of those things where it's like, you know, you're going into a situation that you have no idea what's going on.
It's always unknown. You don't know the house.
People are stressed. They're going probably through the worst time of their life, and so it's good to have that kind of police presence or people who are there to kind of help you guys out, because I could only imagine that some of the crap that you have to see and deal with is just crazy. So if you're out there and you're, you know, calling 911, just make sure that you are treating everyone that shows up with respect. They're there to help you. If you can, obviously there's going to be certain circumstances where you're not going to be able to, but if you're just kind of, you know, calling for a friend or something, help, you know, do your best to help out as much as you can to alleviate any extra stress on you guys, right?
Yeah. If you can, unlock your doors, turn your lights on and move your vehicles out of the driveway.
Okay. I was just going to say, from a,
if it's not you in the crisis. If you're calling for someone else and you can safely do that sort of stuff, it helps us a lot, because we need to be able to see and make sure our scene is safe.
Yeah.
And then get in access, because otherwise we have to wait for police and fire. And then vehicles, we have to get our stretcher in. It's a real pain to get it across the grass and a pain on the patient with what we're doing. We might have to move quickly. So if there's no vehicles in the driveway, it makes it a lot easier. So
absolutely. Okay, so let's just that was gonna be one question. Like, what would you tell us folks who just would call them and want to do? So unlock your door. Yeah. Turn your lights on. Move a car if you can. Obviously, if you're in crisis, don't do this. But if you're
if you can, if it's safe, if you can find the health card and the medications of the person you're calling for, that helps a lot too.
You know, a lot of people, I think, most people, they recommend having a medical kit at home, right?
Yeah, it's really helpful.
And also having in the medical kit a printout of, you know, your health card, what your drugs you're taking and stuff like that.
And why you take them. Yes. A lot of people will be like, oh, here's my medications. They'll be like, okay, but why do you take them?
Yes.
Because a lot of medications, you can take them for various reasons. Mm-hmm. So you might have high blood pressure, you might have something else. Because a lot of people, you'll even ask, oh, do you have any medical conditions? They're like, no. And then they show you like 20 drugs. And I'm like, well, you do. These drugs are just fixing all of them.
Well, and also those people, you know, especially if they're in crisis, they're not thinking straight.
No, of course. You know, and we don't need all that stuff to take you to the hospital. We can find you on the side of the road and have no clue what your even name is, and we'll still take you.
But it makes life easier.
It just helps, and then at the hospital it helps, so they don't give you the wrong medication or something.
So yes, as I said, that's one of the things I'm working on within the next couple of weeks here, is making sure I have a medical kit at home, first aid kit, if you will, making sure I have, you know, anything. You know, I think we're pretty lucky in this house because none of us really are taking anything, but if you do, throw it in there, and it's that way that, you know, you can grab it, you know where it is. If you're going to unlock the door, you know, you can grab, okay, well, this is what this person's taking, and then makes life easier.
And allergies is a big thing, because we don't want to, especially if it's a drug allergy. Environmental, not too much, because you're not likely to encounter those in the hospital, but if you have a drug allergy that we shouldn't give you.
Yes.
Like, we won't give it to you on the road, probably, because not many people are allergic to what we have, but it does happen.
Yes. Penicillin, so that's a rough one for me.
It's a very common one.
Yep.
A lot of people are. A lot of people say they are. I found this out because I was always told I was allergic to penicillin, and I don't think I actually am. A lot of people are told they are, but I've never actually had it.
I think you can grow out of it.
You can. Any allergy. I used to be allergic to horses, actually. Oh. Well, I guess I'm technically still allergic, but I used to get hives and everything, and I don't now because I've been around them so much.
Yeah, so for penicillin, for me, I remember I was in grade 4 or 5, and I took it, and I couldn't walk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
so we definitely don't want to give you that.
That was a wild one. I just remember waking up being like, my legs won't move, and I remember having to military crawl up and be like, "Ma!" So that's obviously I was a little more stressed out at the time because my legs weren't working. But
That's another question they'll ask you at the hospital. So if you say you're allergic to penicillin, if you can talk, or if they have time, they'll ask what happens when you take it.
Yeah.
So you could say that, and they'd be like, okay, yeah, we're not giving you
that. That's it. Yeah, they always ask me that.
Even if you've grown out of it, we're not going to risk that.
Yeah, I haven't had it for a while, so I don't want to risk it. So, there's
other options. So,
yeah,
they'll just give you something else.
Awesome. Well, this has been a great little, I guess, insight into the mind of being a frontline worker and being an EMS. And again, I don't think you guys get enough credit for what you do. Would you have any advice for someone looking to become an EMS worker? Like any maybe schooling, or like would you focus on life experience? Like what would you tell somebody who was like, hey, I want to be an EMS?
It's definitely grueling, like, to go through the school, especially if you go through the private school. Like I said, it's only 9 months in class and 3 months on the road, so it's very quick.
Yeah.
The regular one is a little bit better. Like the regular colleges, they're 2 years turning into 3 or 4. They prepare you a lot better for the road, I feel like. Like out of my group, I don't think even maybe 10 out of 40 got hired.
Oh, okay.
Whereas like the other colleges, it's like it seems like only a couple people didn't get hired.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And right now all the services are hiring a lot, but I don't know if they'll need all those people in a few years. So it might be kind of hard if you're starting school now. I don't know what it'll be like in a few years.
Well, that's the thing. You see a lot with this with police and fire right now is that they have so many people retiring, right? That they are trying to fill so fast. So
and with the pandemic, we need people.
Yes, and I don't think hopefully that obviously with the pandemic kind of slowing down, they're probably gonna still need people because things have kind of we got more people moving from the city out to more of the rural areas, so
the call volume's changed.
Yeah, you're gonna need more coverage for that for sure. So that's awesome. So yeah, and maybe if you're going into EMS to like mentally prepare yourself, maybe sure you have that
think
network.
About how you are mentally before you go into it, because you are gonna see the stuff it's gonna happen. It might not happen for a bit, or you might be like me and see a lot of stuff right away.
The black cloud, if you will.
Which, like, I luckily, well, in my opinion, in some people's opinion, I might have seen some pretty horrible stuff already, but in my opinion, I haven't seen the truly horrible stuff yet. So we'll see how that is when I get to it. But
yeah, absolutely. And making sure if you're going into any frontline kind of work, nurse, doctor, EMS, fire, police. If I'm missing any of them, I'm so sorry. Making sure you have a network of people who you can lean on when things get kind of rough. It's amazing that Adam is, you can kind of talk to him about anything. Then you have your ATV 4x4 group and stuff like that, and you have some friends like me. If you ever need anything, you always text. I do enjoy you always snapping me when you're at work and that kind of stuff.
It's more the funny stuff.
Nothing bad. It's
like
not like
night, we went at 3 a.m. for a lady who was thirsty.
Yes, I woke up and I just
you can call for anything. If that's your emergency, it is. But sometimes there may be other options.
Yes, like the sink.
Just drink the water you have in your hand. But,
there you
which
go.
Is what we advised her to do. But we take anyone at the hospital. So if you call 911 and you want to go, we take you.
There it goes. Do you think that you are are you happy you went this route? Are you happy you kind of had to go through those couple years to kind of sort it out?
And it was good. Like, I did have to work some lower paying jobs, of course, after, because I didn't get hired right away. It took me about a year to become a medic after I was out of school. But I did patient transfer, so that's a non-emerge, like ambulance transfer, mostly home. And then I did work in logistics, so like prepping the ambulances. So I did work for a service. So yeah, I had to kind of drop my career back in that sense. But then I was lucky enough to get through testing and get on. So
well, that's pretty cool. And I think that like those things, maybe you said your schooling wasn't as maybe comprehensive as the other
that
thing.
Stuff definitely helped.
But that stuff helped, especially with the logistics, you're cleaning ambulances, getting them restocked. So you kind of know where things are. So that definitely would help with everything.
And it's good to have that perspective too, because it's like any job. It's like the people doing one job hate the other people, or they get mad at them because it's like, well, these people didn't do this right, and then they're getting mad at you. So it's good to have that perspective. Like, I wish we spent more time with dispatch so I could understand how they're getting their calls and getting their info, because a lot of times we're like, this is the only info you have, but maybe it's because the person yelled and hung up.
For sure.
Which, like, we do try to understand, but when it's 4 a.m. and you've been going all night, it's like, it's kind of hard. You get kind of annoyed.
No, absolutely. And I think that's a big thing too. I think you're a prime example too. If you're a little bit younger, or you have kids maybe who are in that just about to finish high school, don't just send them to university aimlessly.
Customer service jobs.
Customer service jobs. Everyone should work in customer service jobs.
They prepare you for a lot.
Yes, and you can maybe, if maybe you have a kid who comes to you and says, look, I don't want to go to university or college right away. I want to go work or take another,
good for them.
Be supportive, right? Because look at you 26 is when you kind of decided,
Yeah, because I got the university degree and it didn't really get me anywhere.
Yeah.
I was making $20 an hour, like
I'm 32, still have no idea what I want to do.
Yeah,
so
okay,
though. And
a lot of my class was older. I think there was only one person that was 18. Everyone else was over 25.
I still think it's just a crazy thing at the age of 18. You want to decide what you want to do for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Like, no, like, I just want to know what I'm going to do this weekend with hang with my friends. Like, it's such a crazy thing to put on such a young person.
Oh, yeah.
And then to add a financial, burden on top of that. Like, it's just crazy. So
well, I changed my mind like 3 times because I went originally for engineering. I went to Windsor.
Did
1 year there and went, nope, don't think I can be an engineer. And that's why I switched to Guelph because I didn't want to work in an office. And
no.
I was going the vet route and then realized that was unrealistic because I'd probably never get in and never make money doing it. Mm-hmm. So then I just finished that degree and then just worked an office job.
And it's funny because like people, I mentioned on the last episode, I don't believe in, God. I believe there's something up there, but just I think people are put in your path for a reason. Like that person just kind of coming in the theater and you just chat and
Nick.
Nick, good kid, missed that guy. Just him kind of coming in and then you talking and then it's like
just made me think about it and I had never thought about it.
So it's just kind of weird coincidences, we'll say, that kind of things kind of come into your path and then you're like, oh well, this is what I'm gonna do.
But definitely go to college, go to the trades, or work. Like
trades, man.
University, as I told a lot of the people at the theater, because they were all younger, like in high school and stuff, unless you're going to university for something that's very specific, you're probably
lawyer.
Better off going to college or a trade, because like you're not gonna probably make money.
No. As I said,
field, even.
I went to high school and it was very much, make sure you're going to university or you're going to be a garbage man. I'm like, garbage men make great money. Like,
what's a great job?
Trades, when I was in high school, and I hope it's changed now. Trades were kind of looked down upon, if you will, now. Like most of my friends who were in trades,
this year, past year and a half shown it.
They're making good money. But other than that, anything else you want to shout out to anybody if they were looking to become an EMS?
Feel free to.
Well, yeah, if you have any questions,
ask questions.
Yeah, if not,
I've had a few people ask questions.
Yeah, DM me.
Or if you know any paramedics or anyone in that line, just feel free to ask some questions. We're usually more than happy to help. Because it's kind of, you don't see a lot of behind the scenes. Yeah. So you don't really know what you're getting into a lot of times.
Yeah, it's not like it's just on TV all the time, right?
You can't ride out like they used to. You can't go sit in the truck. So.
Oh, that's kind of sad. That'd be fun. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, a lot of times it's a lot of downtime. Like not downtime, like just a lot of.
I think that's a lot with all of them, right? Police. Well, you're not police these days, but
fire. Police are usually pretty busy. They have a lot of paperwork. So.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
a lot of paperwork.
Fire tends to have more downtime. Sorry, fire. I do love you guys on calls. Yeah, you guys are super helpful.
Yes, and if you have any questions, send me a DM at the lazy.pieceofsht Instagram page. I'm more than happy to ask Britt and then get back to you. You can email me at lazypieceofsh.t@gmail.com. Anything you want to shout out? You got all private stuff. You're not any business or something like that?
Not anymore. I used to run the theaters page and I used to run my farm page, but those are both gone now.
Perfect.
So,
well, I'm just happy.
I don't share a lot on social media.
No, that's fine. That's okay. But yeah, I'm just thank you so much for stopping in and chatting. I think you kind of
there's things for having me.
Oh, of course. As I said, a quick drink and chat about this, and I think it's a nice, as I said, a job that you can discuss and people might not know everything about. Like I had no idea about when you're clearing the intersections, that kind of stuff. So we're all learning stuff, right?
That's a common one.
People especially like who are maybe just waiting there wondering what's going on. Now they know. They're just protecting themselves and everybody around. So
why we suddenly flip our lights on? Yeah. Sometimes we suddenly get a call, or like I said, we're coming off the highway. We're technically still on a call. We just for safety turn them off. So.
There you go. Perfect. Always learning that's for sure. But other than that, thank you so much for stopping by, Britt. I hope you have of course, anytime. Everyone out there, hope you have a wonderful night. Enjoy your weekend. Get some resting, relaxing in, and as always, stay wild. Bye.
Bye.